Hello my darlings, I hope you're all doing very well. I hope you are sitting comfortably, you are cozy and you have your snacks and your beverages. In today's video I will be taking you on a wild ride, so buckle up. Make sure the roller coaster seat you are sitting in is a comfy one because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. So in this video I will be talking about Internet Sweetheart. Internet Sweetheart is the heavily tattooed guy on TikTok who gets tattoos in retaliation to those that troll him or leave him negative comments or are mean about him. I feel like this video is a long time coming because I get tagged in this person's TikToks all the time. I've reacted to a couple of them in my Tattoo Enthusiast Reacts to Tattoo TikTok series, but I thought I would make an in-depth video about Internet Sweetheart so we can have a deep dive moment. Now, for full transparency, I have actually talked to the Internet Sweetheart once before. A couple of months back, he reached out to me and was kind of like, what's the deal with this Taylor person? Because if you remember a few months back, I made a video about a lady that has a face tattoo, a large face tattoo, and basically I made a video about an article that she did an interview for, and I kind of had huge amount of sympathy for her and I made a video about it. And then it turns out that she kind of lied about the timeline of events when it comes to her face tattoo. So I then had to, you know, do a video rectifying what I had said because I was basically, you know, out here telling a lie because of my video, if that makes sense. And she was sending people to my video to tell her story. So I was like, absolutely not. I'm not being a voice for her. So I deleted my first video, made another video rectifying the whole thing. And obviously, understandably, she was pretty mad about it. So I think she reached out to Internet Sweetheart to kind of go after me, start some beef. I don't know. So he reached out to me to get my side of the story, I guess. Anyway, from the very brief conversation that I had with him, he seemed kind of pleasant. Again, not much was said. So, like, yeah, I can't make a full judgment off of that conversation. So Internet Sweetheart seemed to have popped out of nowhere and made a controversial name for himself pretty damn quickly. Not much is known about him as such. He doesn't have his name listed anywhere. Hello, it is Editing Lauren. While I was getting some pictures and stuff for this video while editing, I did come across this Vice article where it does say that the Internet Sweetheart's name is Ethan. But yeah, I mean, he's not really put that publicly anywhere else. So we'll just know him as Internet Sweetheart. But other than that, when it comes to his personal life and who he is as a person, it's kept kind of under the radar, which is fine. It's understandable. He doesn't owe anyone anything when it comes to his personal life, right? He does leave little breadcrumbs here and there throughout his TikToks as to who he is as a person. You know, the fact that he has a dog, which is incredibly sweet. And that he works in an office.
Yes, I have to work still. I work at an office because TikTok doesn't let me monetize my videos because they think that I'm toxic and a danger to the platform, and they're probably right.
He has made the odd TikTok here and there talking about or showing the fact that he is now sober after having addiction struggles, which is amazing. It takes a lot to overcome that, so he should be very proud of himself for that. His main TikTok account has been banned quite a few times because of his controversial content.
Please do not give this platform any credit for my videos and what I do. They've deleted me 22 times now because they disagree with my humor. They disagree with what I stand for and what I do on this app. They have made it very clear they do not want me here. And you won't find other content creators that really do what I do because it's not profitable. I don't make any money from TikTok. I do it all for your guys' entertainment. And if I hadn't been deleted as many times as I have been now, I would be at about 600,000 followers. So, yeah. By
the looks of things, he has around about 3 accounts at this moment while filming. The main one that he has been hacked. The one that has been hacked is modern_day_angel. And the bio says this page is now property of EJ Gibney.
So get this, y'all. I'm locked out of my TikTok account. The only reason I can post this video is because my account is still logged in on my desktop. After I posted that video featuring EJ Gibney, the music teacher at School of Rock, I received an email from him. As soon as I open the email from him, I'm locked out of my TikTok account. I can't get back in, and my picture and bio has been changed. I've sent support tickets to TikTok. They're not helping me because I assume they know exactly who I am and they don't really want me on the platform anyway. So we're stuck. I don't know what else to do. So I guess we're out of luck. Sorry guys. Go follow my new account, Internet Sweetheart _
We have this one as well, which is internet sweetheart _ and then the bio says internet sweetheart / modern day angel. And then there's this other one that says internet sweetheart 2024 modern day angel. And then there is no bio for that. His content does come across as pretty unhinged to the majority of people. And with every TikTok he posts, it seems to just get more and more wild. Like, you'd think it can't get any worse, and then it does. And I'll give him some credit for being able to outdo himself every single time. Like, you just think that he's got to the limit, and no. Okay, the limit does not exist for Internet Sweetheart. Ray William Johnson has a quick overview of the Internet Sweetheart's escapades, which will help you understand everything a bit more.
He dives into their background. Like when he found this one troll's grandma.
Quick question for you. When was the last time you visited Nana? I miss you so much, Nana. We gotta get you out of here.
Or when this woman told him he'd never find a romantic partner.
I have great news. I did find a romantic partner. Your son. I came across him on Facebook and we've been chatting. Of course, he's under the impression he's been talking to Heather, but I'm about to pick him up from work.
He is absolutely ruthless with it, right? And these ones are the pretty tame ones as well, trust me. These are literally the tip of the iceberg, because he does now take it so much further and get tattoos of the people that, you know, comment on his videos negatively, and that is either of the person, or he'll dig deeper and try and find family members, dead or alive, and get those people tattooed on them in some capacity. So let's take a look at the Internet Sweetheart's more recent TikToks, especially the tattoo related ones, because again, I make tattoo related content, so we can focus on that, and that way you can get more of an idea of just how extreme he's willing to go. So the first one we're going to look at is this one where Internet Sweetheart kind of retaliates to someone that isn't very good at their job, to put it nicely.
Ednice, calm down. I haven't seen you this violent and angry since back when you worked at the nursing home.
Yeah, this one I'm not too pressed about, you know, because the person isn't exactly the nicest, you know? So I'm like, you know what, that's kind of funny, to be honest. I'm sure for some of you this may be a bit too far, and for others it may just be a bit like, that's pretty funny, that's good content right there. This one is pretty unhinged. He got someone's restraining order tattooed on him.
This out of control behavior is the exact reason that I have your restraining order tattooed on my back.
I mean, I'll give it to him on the creativity front, I guess. I feel like you can say whatever you want about his behaviour, whether you agree with it or not, but I will give him a compliment on his creativity and his ability to just not care. Like, I'm personally scared I'm going to run out of room when it comes to getting tattoos, and then Internet Sweetheart is like, I want to fill up every gap I have with absolute nonsense. Like, I wish I had this little of care when it comes to getting tattooed, honestly, because I'm now thinking very meticulously and hardly about every single gap and what I want to put in there. So I admire his I don't give a fuck attitude. Now, the next one is probably the most unhinged of them all.
I'm not going to respond to this. I'm just going to be the bigger person for once. I'm going to walk away. I was so devastated to hear about what happened with Mama. Another fall in the kitchen? She's at the hospital, but she's not receiving the adequate level of care that she deserves. So I'm gonna step in.
Like, it's one thing to get the tattoo. Okay, like, that's one thing. But to show up at the hospital where this grandma is supposedly at, it goes from just unhinged to, to a little bit stalkery. Like, it takes a lot for me to be speechless, you know? Like, if you've been watching me for a while, I always have something to say, but this kind of content, it just has me, like, you know, like, oh. Now, Internet Sweetheart has openly said that there is absolutely nobody off of limits when it comes to his actions.
Let me explain to you how things work on my page. You come into my comments being negative or disrespectful or insulting me. The baby, the grandma, the goldfish, everyone is getting dragged from here to Timbuktu, respectfully.
I personally feel like his actions should just stay to those that are involved, so the person that like comments or what have you, or just like the adults that are involved, but children, it's kind of a bit like, ugh. Like, it's a line that not many would ever cross, you know, and he does, and it's a bit like, oh, like, you're kind of treading in very, very hot water by doing that, you know? And mainly because anybody could twist this into a very, very negative thing, you know? Like, when children are involved. Like, if you think about it, out of the box, a random man has just got your child or somebody's child tattooed on them that they've never met. You know, it can be twisted in very dark ways. So while Internet Sweetheart doesn't have any creepy intentions, for sure, it can come across like that, you know? But anyone else, I feel like it was probably a free-for-all. The thing is, when you interact with someone like the Internet Sweetheart, you know what you're getting in for. You know, if you're going to poke the bear is probably going to react, right? Like, I would love to go and hug a lion, but I know it's not safe, okay? So why would I do that? So very negatively interacting with the Internet Sweetheart could land you with him getting a tattoo of your grandma or your unborn fetus. So unless you're comfortable with that, it's probably best not to poke the bear. But could this come under victim blaming? I don't know. It depends how extreme you see some stranger on the internet getting a tattoo of someone you know or yourself. I would love to know your thoughts on this. Is it a case of, well, you know what you're getting yourself in for? Or do you think, he's taking things too far? You shouldn't really blame the victims, if that makes sense, right? Love to know your thoughts and opinions. So the Internet Sweetheart funds his content by asking his audience to help him pay for his tattoos via PayPal and Cash App.
Tattoo fund is running low, guys, so here's my PayPal and here's my Cash App. Do your thing.
Which, sure, I mean, if people are willing to donate to keep this content going, then that's on them. I truly respect the hustle and the grind. So now with all of that being said, you're probably like, oh my gosh, how is this person still going? How are people supporting this? But trust me, okay, Internet Sweetheart has a very big loyal fan base. There's this TikTok from Amy who is a big fan of Internet Sweetheart.
In case you have not heard of this person before, this is my favorite account on this app that there has ever been. I love you. I love you. They take trolling to the next level. Like, if you choose to fuck with this person, there's something seriously wrong in you, because he's gonna come for you. He's gonna get you. Like, you are a master at your craft, and I just wanted to let you know that I love you, and I'm also a little bit scared of you, but it's all respect. And if you are not following them, you need to go immediately and check out some of the stuff that they have done with people that are very well deserving of the criticism and the critiquing that they do for them. So if you haven't heard of them yet, go check them out. Trust and believe, you're gonna go down a rabbit hole, and you're gonna be just smiling so big that you won't be able to think of anything else for the day. You're welcome.
There are a huge amount of positive and encouraging comments on every TikTok that he posts. It's honestly kind of hard to find any negative ones. So here are some of the comments. Day 2 of asking if you can get a tattoo of me. He's starting to get people like that. They're like, I don't care, please just get something related to me tattooed on you, which isn't really what he's about. He's more about owning people that have wronged him in some way or been horrible to him or whatever. As my pettiness lives through this, man. Keep on rocking, you make me laugh and laugh. This one says, you make my days, man. And then this one says, why on earth do people with all of this baggage keep coming at you? You're a good lad and deserve love and support. And this one says, you're the best. best. You're the type of person I wish I had as a friend when I got bullied in school. You're awesome. I can kind of understand the love and support that he does get, because with him, you know where you stand in a world full of fake content creators that are all about just trivial things, you know, brand deals, PR unboxing, fake connections, and climbing the social ladder. He just doesn't seem the type to care about all of those kind of things. And I think a lot of people do admire him for that, because it is a breath of fresh air while it may be toxic to some and controversial, but I can honestly see the appeal with him as a person. So anyway, because of his internet escapades, Internet Sweetheart seems to have landed himself in some legal issues.
But one day, this guy named Max, who I assume looks like this, Max said something pretty horrible to him.
This is one of the nastiest, cruelest comments that I've gotten.
Yeah, Max basically tells him to unalive himself. And does Internet Sweetheart let that slide? No, he does not.
Max, I was so devastated to hear the news about your father.
That video blows up and people lose their minds.
This is the most savage thing.
They're supposed to f***ing goat.
But Max, he doesn't think that's funny, and he leaves a comment threatening to sue him. And they go back and forth a few times, but then look at this. This seemingly conservative guy calls Internet Sweetheart feminine. So Internet Sweetheart responds by getting this tattooed on him. Then, I guess conservative guy got so mad, he responds while, like, at a furniture store?
You have 24 hours to remove that tattoo, or I will be seeking legal action. Quit your online trolling of me.
It also looks like this person, and I don't know if there's a separate person, they sent him a letter of intent to sue for $100,000 for defamation of character through social media and troll tattoos. I didn't even know you could sue for troll tattoos.
I've only had this account for 4 days now, and already like 5 people are suing me.
But if I were a betting man, I would bet that most of these are just empty threats and that none of these lawsuits are going to go through.
I agree with Ray on this one. I personally don't think it will go any further. This kind of lawsuit would get laughed out of court. It's so stupid. Like, there's people struggling to eat in the world, and then there's stupid people like this, you know, taking legal action after, like I said earlier, they poked the bear. And I truly don't think there is a law against people getting tattooed. While yes, for the majority of people, it is a bit strange. The fact that Internet Sweetheart wants to cover his body in tattoos to do with people that have trolled him, left him comments or whatever. There is still no law against what he is doing, for now anyway. Could you imagine though if this actually ends up blowing up and then some new law comes into place and then like all of a sudden you have to have permission to have a tattoo of a person? I mean, a lot of us would be screwed, right? Because like, imagine if it becomes a crime to have a tattoo of someone unless you have permission. Like, I have a portrait tattoo of Joanna Lumley, who is an actress. She plays my favourite character, Patsy Stone. I didn't get permission to have that. Do you think she would sue me for that if that law come into place? Or maybe it would be different for celebrities versus your everyday person, because I feel like with celebrities it's just like one of those things, but your everyday person who isn't in the limelight, and then you get this random person getting a tattoo of you, it's a bit different, right? Or maybe not, I don't know, because celebrities are people as well, after all. But yeah, that's food for thought. Do you think there should be some kind of law against people getting tattoos of people without their permission? Anyway, this is where things get a bit more interesting, if they weren't already interesting, and a bit more spicy. So, there's this podcast that is run by Jessi Smiles and Lily Marston called Do We Know Them?
Hello there. My name's Lily Marston, and you may recognize me from when I worked at Clever. I was the one that had a bunch of different colored hair and tested out weird beauty products mostly.
And I'm Jessi Smiles, and you may also know me from my channel that I sometimes post on twice a year, or maybe from Vine. Unfortunately, that was a part of my life. Or maybe you also saw me on Clever.
And this is a podcast that covers like hot topics. They mainly talk about content creators, so people like Mr. Beast, Keith Lee, Sniper Wolf, and Jack's Films, you know, that whole thing that was happening. Well, they posted a podcast on the 7th of November talking about their Internet Sweetheart, and they uncovered some things. And the stuff that they talk about may be a surprise to you, or it may not be.
Tattoos that he's getting, all the pictures of that he's gotten off people's Facebooks,
They're fucking stock photos.
He actually sent me the grandfather photo, the one that I mentioned of the Grim Reaper, and Lily sends me a stock photo website with that guy's picture, and I'm like, no fucking way this guy does this.
And it's because that person commented, they're like, Google elderly man with oxygen tube. And you do, and it pops up immediately.
When examining the usernames of some of the accounts that have left the comments, certain similarities arise that support the suggestion that these are fabricated characters. We see examples like Misty Johnson 555 and Miranda 555. Misty Johnson's account and video response featured 2 Style Jan images, a group of first/last name accounts ending in numbers including Tabitha Patterson 1, Norma Robertson 7, Melinda Carlisle 7. Like, they're all the most... He's commenting on his own videos. Look at, like, the comments all seem so fake looking back. It says, "You're not getting away with this. You got a tattoo of my son without his knowledge or permission. I feel sick to my stomach." Oh, the article, the person who wrote it actually chatted with Modern Day Angel. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah. He said in a TikTok direct message, "I inquired about the use of StyleGAN images and the creation of characters to enhance his engagement. His response was concise and defensive. In his reply, he said, 'The videos are meant for entertainment.'" Oh my God!
Stop it.
My favorite line is, "He takes on the roles of both hero and villain, defending himself from his own provocations, all while his audience cheers him on, unaware that they're witnessing a one-man performance."
Now, the grandma one from earlier with the internet sweetheart just showing up at that hospital makes a little bit more sense now. Mainly because the chances of someone commenting on your videos from the same area as you, especially when you live in America, which is freaking huge, is very, very slim. Unless it is a targeted video about a specific restaurant, you know, like a local restaurant, and people are like, "Oh, I've been there before," or "Oh, this is in my area, I'm gonna go," kind of vibe. But with internet sweetheart's video, like, the chances of him targeting people in his exact same area is slim. Like, it could happen a couple of times, obviously, but overall, And of course, the internet sweetheart could drive across country to commit to this type of content, but to drive, you know, from where he lives, let's say, like, I think California to New Jersey, just for a 3-second clip, would you? I wouldn't. So the revelations from the Do We Know Them podcast, you know, of him potentially faking some of his content or interactions makes everything a bit more sense as to how he does his content. He sometimes finds random stock photos or random photos on the internet, makes fake accounts to do fake posts and all of that to create his own little story and then to create content, which kind of softens the blow a little bit because now he's just choosing random photos to get tattooed on him, which then again, is that a bit weird? Maybe, I don't know. But then this leads us to the question of, like, why go this far? Like, why would you put so much effort into making all of these fake profiles and all of that? I truly do believe that some of the content that he makes is real. I truly believe he does get tattoos of people that have actually commented on his profile or on his content. But then I feel like maybe to get the ball rolling sometimes, he does maybe create fake profiles. I don't know. He also has admitted to Vice that some of the TikToks that he creates have been manufactured. So again, I feel like some of it is real, some of it is fake. I also kind of believe, now thinking about it, now that I'm editing this video and like watching the content back and all of that, I kind of do believe maybe the lawsuit was a little bit fake, possibly. Let me know your thoughts on that. The thing with social media is the fact that it is so oversaturated now, especially with TikTok. Everyone is making content. Literally everyone. I started making content in 2015 and back then I thought it was oversaturated, okay? But it is nothing like it is today. And if you start making content today, you have to stand out. Okay, more so than you did 8 years ago when I started. Otherwise, if you don't stand out, you go pretty unnoticed and under the radar. Or you have to work and grind to get noticed. And I feel like people like the internet sweetheart take the I'm going to be noticed, you will notice me path. And they'll go down the route of being controversial and doing anything to be noticed on a platform that is incredibly saturated. We've seen it very recently as well with Anna, who got her boyfriend's name tattooed on her forehead to get views, to be noticed, to get people to talk about her. It worked very, very well. So I feel like a lot of people now are just trying to be, you know, so outlandish just to be noticed. So I feel like that's what Internet Sweetheart has maybe done, because he's also been on the path of trying to get the attention of Inked Magazine and then the H3 podcast.
I gotta say, I have the best fans. Y'all are amazing, because I asked y'all to try to get Inked Magazine's attention to see if they would reach out to me. It literally took like 30 minutes and Inked Magazine was in my inbox. So you guys are efficient. Let's see if we can do this again for the H3 podcast. This is the username right here. Tag them in the comments. I've been a big fan of them for years. I would love to be on the podcast.
Now, of course, the Internet Sweetheart had something to say about the Do We Know Them podcast and the revelation of it, you know, because I guess the Do We Know Them podcast were like, ha, we've exposed you. And the Internet Sweetheart, of course, had a retaliation.
So the Do We Know Them podcast, they put out a whole episode yesterday exposing me, saying that my tattoos are not real, that I'm not funny, that I cross all the lines and the boundaries.
Like tattooing children on you, other people's children, is kind of crossing a line.
I mean, it's beyond. And again, it has nothing to do with it.
He doesn't strike me as like a comedian. It's just like...
First of all, I want to thank these girlies for putting on that show. I'm a chronic insomniac, and listening to them both talk, I slept good for the first time in years. But since we're questioning authenticity, I really love this picture that you posted.
Does this look fake? Wow. Just, ooh. Oh. This action just leads me to believe that some of the content that he makes is like 100% legit, because he just does not care. He will tattoo anything on him. And like I said earlier, the children thing, I can imagine Jessi is probably feeling a little bit uncomfortable with the whole thing. I mean, luckily for Jessi, the tattoo does look like a generic baby. You know, it's like a super high detailed portrait tattoo or anything. So yeah, I mean, obviously the intention is the worst of it, you know. That's definitely going to be the sucker punch for Jessi, unfortunately. I do wonder what the Internet Sweetheart's plans are for the future of his content. There is only so many limbs and body parts that one person has, so like what happens when there is no more room left? I don't know, it'll be kind of interesting to see how much he does over the next coming months or years, depending on how long he's planning on doing this type of content. Anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on the Internet Sweetheart's type of content and everything that I've mentioned in this video. Is it the type of content that you would consume and find entertaining, or do you think he goes a little bit too far? Leave all your thoughts and opinions down below. And that is it for today's video. I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and until my next one, bye.